Yeah, boy. Okay. Oh my god, this is the first time I've actually done it, and it's not looked stupid for 10 seconds.
What do you mean it doesn't look
Woo!
stupid?
It's like half the time, like it just doesn't pick up Discord properly, so it just like is showing something else stupid, and then I have to get it to have to get Streamlabs to actually pick up Discord, which is cool. So yay! Get it.
Whoa.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 8 of That's the Name podcast with That's the Tweet. We'll talk about why it's called That's the Tweet soon.
Oh, my PC is designed to be super loud, tell me. Cool.
It's just taking off.
I don't even have anything on. It's just Discord, apparently.
It does. Like one of the things that was really funny recently is I was playing Dota like today, right? And I was in the middle of a team fight, and Dota just froze. And it hasn't done that since my old computer. Like, I mean, it full on hardcore froze. I couldn't see anything for the entire time. And then I checked it again, and I'd already died twice as Wraith King. And I was just like, well, it'd be like that.
Yeah, dude. I still just have the trees like during the first minute, but after that, normally I don't. Yeah, I actually had like previously when I played, like years ago, I had issues with it, and I couldn't really fix it because my PC was just not great. But it also just only happened on Dota. It only happened in Dota, so I kind of just quit. You know, it's very annoying to play with.
It do be like that. I remember when we were trying to play it with my old computer for a bit, and it would just die. Like my computer legitimately just like the game just crashed, and I'd just be like, I just want to play the game.
Those are the types of things that make you realize why most people just play on console.
Yeah,
because it's so much effort to actually fix what is going on with your PC. It is. Like you have to be you have to do fucking scientific research into why your PC is twerking on your desk, and like I don't understand. Like, Jesus,
it do be like that.
I just want to play the Fortnites.
I just want to play I just want to build, guys. I just want to frag, guys. Dude. Okay, so I have 2 stories very quickly. Firstly, just reminding everybody that before I got this computer that streams and stuff, which I love and it's amazing, before I got this computer, I legitimately had a computer where the graphics card fan broke, and I had a physical fan pointed in, and I played on that computer, and I played actual, genuine, vaguely competitive games of Smite on a computer with a physical fucking fan in it.
Can you remind everyone how much FPS you played on in Smite?
15 FPS, and that was on a good day. I'm not joking. 15 FPS.
I know you say that, but I cannot imagine someone playing a game on 15 FPS because it's basically just stuttering the whole time.
It was there was a point where like a couple times during team fights it would go down to like 5 or something, and you could physically count the frames. Like, you could literally count the frames in team fights. I genuinely, for a little while, wanted people to ban Arpwash just because his ultimate summons a bunch of little, little ghosts that come out of the ground and, run at you, right? But it would spawn so many things that my computer would slow the fuck down to the point where I would just not have frames. I couldn't see what I was doing.
I think it was also funny because I remember that the Outpush ult did 0 damage for so long.
It did no damage at that time, but people were playing him because it was it was a healing matter, and he has anti-heal. Yeah. So they would play him, and then I'd just be like, no, I can't play the game.
Yeah, just break your PC.
Break your PC.
Especially with Smite, because it takes about 5 minutes to reconnect in that game.
Oh, it would take forever to reconnect, and there was no pausing unless you were
Yes.
Even then, people didn't want to pause because.
Cool.
But yes, how have you been this week, Mr. Vincey boy?
Done a bunch of homework that I started 2 days before the deadline, and
at least it's not the day before. It could have.
Well, I mean, technically the test I did was I started studying on a day of, but you know, I'm a smart boy. I can do this.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, until after school finished for me, I genuinely never studied for anything. So we can all see why I'm sitting here at home at 6:38 p.m. on a Sunday, late for my own podcast, and not doing anything with my life, unemployed during the pandemic. It kind of makes sense, guys. I feel like there's a bit of correlation, causation here.
I think it's kind of funny because I think when it comes to like the academic parts of the study, like researching, I think I'm kind of overqualified, but I fucking love that because I don't have to fucking work as well.
Pretty good.
It's like some people have never actually done proper referencing in like essays, so
yeah,
it's
a bit weird.
It's a bit weird, but it's something.
So does it?
If that means I can study for a test on the day of, I'm very happy. Yeah.
Pog.
So that's just it's not that I'm overqualified for the like production, just those kind of things.
Yeah, that's true. It's also like as a thing for just like British people in general. I went to a pretty good school, and we learned how to like do that kind of stuff and like actually like all of that kind of extra stuff. Like we learned the subjects, but we never really learned all of that other stuff until like very late. Like it would be the day before the exam, and then my professor would be like, my teacher would be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you need to know how to reference. Here's how to reference," and he'd be like, "What? Excuse me? I feel like we should have done this before."
But they even gave like you can just Google like there's like a site called like Cite This for me, and then you can just copy it in there. But even in Word, you have a template to fill in the source, and somehow people still don't know how to do it. I think it honestly, if you don't know anything about it, it takes like a 5-minute Google search and you'll figure it out. It's not.
I've kind of had a realization that I've done more revision for like D&D and Dota and Smite than I ever did in school. That's kind of horrifying, dude.
Yeah, I have a fucking notebook with just Dota notes on reviews. I don't like. I wrote it in it more like during the holidays. But yeah. It's just you need that research. Those are the research skills.
I have a Google Docs with like 12, like a bunch of bullet points on how to teach somebody how to play Dota. And then like starting with like the easier stuff to get them into it, and then like the more important stuff, like the more difficult stuff, like creep aggro later on.
Jesus, my hair looks terrible.
It's fine. Just, you know what? It'd be like that. It is day 10 of 2021. Our hair be looking terrible, and that's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna get a haircut, but then there was another outbreak, so whatever.
Reminds me of an old friend of mine that I used to play with. He was a super serious player. He actually made a test online that you had to solve before you could be added to the group. I feel like that's a bit much, to be honest. That's a bit of a yikes. Like unless you're like genuinely like a pretty high rated player. Like I don't like even the high rated players. I don't think would give enough of a crap to do the test. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. You don't have to do research on Dota if you don't want to. It's only if you don't find it fun, don't fucking do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like there's other ways to learn.
There is. Let's be honest. Most of the time, when I'm not concentrating on feeding and carry, it's one of those things where most of the time when I'm playing like position 3, I know what I'm doing for the most part, so I can kind of be like, "Hey, can you do this thing for me while I'm doing this?" And it's fine. Like if I'm playing with someone, it doesn't always happen. I forget to do it sometimes. That's okay. Be like that. So yes, are we ready to explain why this episode is called "That's the Tweet"?
Are you ready?
I mean, I feel like it should be obvious to anybody who's looked at the news. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Where do I take the test to play games with Vincent Rage? So,
So you actually have to take an IQ test, and your score
Yeah.
has to come out to below 50. Unfortunately.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
Um,
it's
yeah.
got to make us look better with our 51 IQ. Got to be just a little bit lower than us. At least.
Yeah, we can't have anyone. We can't have anyone smarter than us.
We can't be doing that.
Yeah, it's not a thing we could do.
It's like normally I'm very weird because most of the time I don't tend to ask people to play games, but recently I've just been like very into playing some of the games that I want to be playing, and he's sitting there like, "Hey guys, you want to play? You want to play?
Yeah.
You want to play?"
Yo, there was this new map on Phasmo that we should play with people.
Ooh.
Yes.
But yes, explaining why this thing is called "That's the Tweet." You've never fight into the game is trolled 2 times. I trolled 2 games with you today. It's fine. You're good. But yes, this episode is called "That's the Tweet," and that is because, as everybody should hopefully know, Trump got banned from Twitter.
He got sniped.
He got sniped. Maybe we shouldn't say that. Actually, that's
What do you mean sniped? What do you mean sniped? What do you think? You think JFK is gonna be like?
Oh
hey,
no!
He's gonna get out of his.
He's gonna come out of.
He's gonna be offended. Don't say.
Oh no, the PogChamp. It's changed. Oh no.
Oh god, what is that?
That's another thing. That was one of the reasons why this is called "That's the Tweet." Is because PogChamp got changed, ladies and gentlemen. And he who shall not be named, like he was racist on Twitter, and then he was inciting violence, I think, and was just being a general twat. So they, decided, no, you don't get to be PogChamp, and they've changed it. Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of a. I don't know who the hell this guy is. They put him out. Yeah, I think he also was like kind of supporting like the fucking thing they did in the White House.
Yeah. He was also very anti-vax apparently, and was saying a lot of stuff like Corona didn't exist, and people be dying from Corona, so let's not pretend like it doesn't exist. Dude is a rightist and anti-vaxxer and anti-masking shit. Yeah, like I mean, consequences, dude. That's what we've been talking about. That's what we've been waiting for, baby. Woo!
I remember, like, I saw this tweet of, like, do you know who Hassan Abi is on Twitter?
Think so, vaguely.
Well,
thought rings a bell.
Yeah. He talked to him like years ago, and he was like, I never would have imagined he would be like this because he was so nice in person that back then, and then suddenly he just does this dumb shit.
Yeah, it's very sobering when you see people that you kind of believe in and trust and think are genuinely decent realize, oh, they're just not decent people at all. That's interesting. Huh. Be like that. Have you ever had any of those instances?
It's when I found out that do you know like anything about like that racist guy here in politics, the guy with like the white hair?
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it last week, right?
Yes. I had that when I was in my history class, and like the teacher once asked us, like, I mean, he was against him, right? He was against Wilder. And then he asked if there were any students planning on voting for him, and there were like 10. And
no.
Well, okay. I was also the only foreigner in the class, so that's kind of Monka gun.
Nice.
Like, yeah, dude. So yeah, if you don't know who he is, he's basically like I think he's been sued a couple times for making racist remarks as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually have opinions. If you watch him, he just says racist shit, and people just stir him.
Yeah, that's rough.
He's like a light Trump, I guess.
Trump light, the Bud Light of Trump.
Trump light.
That's great, dude. Bud Light of Trump. Amazing. Semi recently, actually, somebody who I will not name as well, actually was really racist when I was the sip. I will sip. They were really. very racist. That were like they were like a friend until semi recently, and I kind of didn't like talk to them too much until like again for a little bit very recently, and then they said some stuff that I genuinely would get banned if I said on Twitch, and it was a bit weird seeing that this person that I genuinely like was good friends with for quite a while and talked to quite a lot say something that was extremely racist, and then me just go, okay, I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna go. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Weird.
Sad life. A lot of racist people in the world, but that's why we have memes to distract ourselves.
No. No.
Yeah, I mean, you can be sad, but you can also look at Cat Jam and think
This is true. We do
That's-
love Cat Jam.
Cat Jam is amazing. But
What do you mean?
yeah, what was the other thing you want to talk about again? I think I forgot. Yes, Rust. That was it.
Oh yes, we were gonna talk about Rust.
Why do you not have Cat Jam activated?
I don't know. I need to fix that. It's on BTTV, right?
Yeah.
Give me a second. I will fix that if I can do that right now. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, so because you don't know, like Rust has kind of just blown up recently on Twitch because a lot of streamers have been playing it. They kind of made their own server together, and it was like a bunch of people, like hundreds of streamers on the same server.
Pretty crazy.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's got a lot of attention. A lot of people got more attention because of it because they are on the server, right? But there's also been like some drama because, you know, people get upset. It is kind of a like toxic game when there's PvP.
Yeah,
People can just get murdered in their sleep. It's kind of so it's a survival game with like building shit and guns, but it takes quite a while to actually get guns, and then if you get murdered, you start with nothing, basically.
Oh no, I've just seen all of the BT TV emotes that I have, and they are very concerning. Wait, I gotta post my favorite one real quick. Yep, okay. But yeah, like I feel like this is one of those things where like Rust is like one of those games where you get into it for a bit and then you just realize that the game itself, like most of the reason you'd be playing the game is because of the people who are playing the game and not because you are. Huh?
Yeah, so it says on Steam it's been out since 2018, but it's been out for way longer.
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
I think it was just an early access or something.
Yeah.
That's why it says that. But yeah, yeah. So like the reason why, I mean, it's kind of a weird game because it still had a lot of players on it, even after it sort of died.
Yes.
And it was mostly because the community is just very toxic and they don't actually have a way to regulate it.
Yeah. It's not gonna like it's very difficult for you to actually regulate a game like that. Because a lot of it is on servers and
private servers and shit.
Yeah.
But when you're starting out, there's actually there's no way you get onto a private server with people you know.
Yes.
It's hard. Maybe it might improve if people are coming from streams and they want to act like the streamer does, right?
Yeah.
It might improve somewhat, but they're also probably going to get killed and it's going to be very fast.
Yeah, this is also true. I feel like it's also one of those games like from when I played it for a while, it feels like the more people there are, it gets better to a point, and then it gets to too many people, and then people are just killing each other for no reason all the time. Like, all the time. Like, even if it wasn't
I feel like if you know a lot of people, it's definitely really fun.
Yeah.
So, like, if you were to, like, actually know, like, at least, like, 70% of the people on that server, right?
Yeah, it could be
just make a private server.
It's also one of those things where I feel like people are going to see this as a bit polarizing, but I look at Rust and I kind of go, you wanted to play a game like that, why would you not just play Minecraft? Like, I mean, I know it's very different. Yeah, don't get me wrong. And Minecraft has its own stigmas and everybody don't like it in the same way, but I feel like Minecraft itself is just a little bit better built for big servers and people doing some of the stuff that they were doing on Rust, like the random RP stuff and all of that stuff. And yeah, it's really not. It's probably not the same. I would agree, but like it's just. I don't think this game has as much longevity as some of the other games that they've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably because they want to like actually fight with guns and shit, with like Shroud playing it, XQC. They kind of like that aspect more than the role-playing elements. But yeah, for the people that just want to role-play, I don't really see much of a point, I guess. I guess other than survival aspects.
Yeah, I feel like there were definitely a lot of people just played the game for the sake of other people are playing the game, must jump on bandwagon, which is actually it's fine. I don't really like think that's a big deal, but I think it's just one of those things where I realize that as soon as some of the main people, the bigger people, stop playing the game and stop caring, a lot of people are just going to drop off.
Yeah, I think it was really funny when like the server owner was like Abe, and he dropped like sickles for people and blood, and then they made a church for him for the blood god.
The blood god.
And Moist Critical was like in it as well.
That's pretty great, actually. Amazing. I mean,
yeah, it does have like a lot of like funny storylines to follow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't deny. Like, I feel like I never really got into bothering about watching them do this, but like, I do think it could be quite funny, and we do also love Charlie, Mr. Moist.
Yeah, and Ludwig, of course.
Love Ludwig. Great.
Yes.
Fucking great. I don't know what more to say other than they're just fucking great.
Yeah, so like, I mean, wherever they'll go, they'll kind of make interesting content. Yeah. It feels like.
Bro, if I can sit and watch Charlie open fucking Yu-Gi-Oh packs for 4 hours straight and be fine with it, I think I could watch this man do pretty much anything and it'll be funny. You know?
You gotta take a break, dude. You can't keep. Do you know how many Yu-Gi-Oh videos he uploads? It's
so
insane.
Many Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Like I literally I started watching some of them and then just got to the point where I was like, this is too much. Like you know already. Like my Google Chrome has so many fucking tabs. Because I just open YouTube videos and go, I'll watch that at some point. And then I open something else and watch it. And it gets to the point where I'll have like 50 tabs of just YouTube videos. Because I've just been trying to watch like a billion different things and not watching any of them. And there was a point where I legitimately had like 15, 16 Moist Critical videos open all at once. And I hadn't watched them for like 3-4 days because I was just watching his new stuff. And I was just like, I just need to close all of these. I'm not going to watch them. Happen.
Yeah, that man has to make so much content. That's insane. So much content. The energy that man has is enough to feed like a whole continent.
Yeah, this is true. It's actually true. It's also
just like use him as a nuclear reactor.
He is
at the center of it.
He's the uranium. The moistium. Like I love how both on one hand, like all of his videos are like they're really troll because they don't have like an intro or an outro. He just goes, so yeah, and then the video just fucking ends, which is great. But also like when he does bother to edit stuff and he does bother to like do all of that shit, like it's actually edited very well. And I'm pretty sure he has an editor, but like there's just no shits given like for 99% of this, and that's what like he just seems. Obviously, I don't know him in real life or anything, so I can't be like, I know exactly what his character is like, and I know plenty of people would feel like they would. But I feel like he seems like extremely real compared to a lot of the other content creators.
I think it's funny because he sounds sarcastic a lot of the times, and when he does like an ad shout out, it just sounds like he's joking on. It sounds so dumb.
It's so dumb. I love it.
Yeah. Jeez.
Got like the driest sense of humor, and I fucking love it. But yeah, dude. I looked at the time and I was like, Jesus Christ, have we done an hour already? And then I realized that we started like half an hour late. So, yeah, dude. There's like that's another thing that I actually wanted to talk about. Like all of the fad of like, I say a fad. of everybody like beginning to open packs of like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards again because all of these streamers are doing it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Like it's funny because like a lot of my like friends in like a couple of my friends in real life have started doing it as well, and like a bunch of my friends like who I've just been talking to again recently are just like, oh yeah, you know, we're just because of these streamers I just started opening Pokemon cards again and stuff like that, and I'm just like, the fuck? When did this happen? What?
Dude, the influence streamers have is insane.
They actually have a lot of influence. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's also like a huge marketing team for games now to have like streamers play their game.
Because like one of the things that I was like, with Cyberpunk, does anybody play with the cards? I don't think anybody actually plays with the cards. They just buy them and they sell them on.
I've never seen someone play with Yu-Gi-Oh cards like IRL.
Yeah.
I mean, have I? No, I don't think so.
I used to play with Yu-Gi-Oh cards IRL. I was that nerd who would sit down during lunch, eating lunch, and destroying people with my Blue Eyes White Dragons. I'm not even joking, and I'm not saying like when I was young. Like I mean, I was like 16, 17, playing with people in my own year at school, destroying them with my Blue Eyes White Dragons. Fucking great. Wish I had the money to just start something like that. The only thing I could do with streamers is be depressed. I mean, it's 2020. We're all depressed, man. It's fine. 2020, 2021.
Yeah, I've played the Pokemon game like online on like their thing. I don't know what it's called, but it's like where you use the codes for that are. I mean, it's pretty fun actually, but it's just effort.
I'm gonna say something a bit blasphemous. Okay, guys, you guys ready? Are you prepared?
Sure.
So, when I was a kid, I was not a Nintendo child. We had a PS2 once I got to like 10. So I never really like played any Nintendo stuff at all. And my sisters hated the Pokemon show because they hated Ash. And they hated SpongeBob as well. We'll get into that's another story. Because they hated the Pokemon show, I never used to watch Pokemon because they used to just hate like watching it when I was around, and they would just refuse to let me watch it. So long story short, until about 2 years ago, I'd never really gotten into any of the Pokemon stuff, and even then, like now, I'm not into Pokemon that much at all. The most I've done is watch people play like Nuzlocke and stuff like that. So it's like just a random stuff, like a completely random one, and then if you like your Pokemon dies, like it gets killed once and it's just dead, right? That kind of thing.
Okay.
So like it's extremely hilarious for me watching these people be like, yes, Pokemon stuff, and I'm just here like, so there's a Piplup, right? That's a Pokemon, right? And there's a Regice or something. Is that a thing? What is this? And then somebody else talks to me about Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'll be like, ah, yes, my Xyz cards are prepared.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because like, so I did a bunch of like Weiss Schwarz, and
yes, Weiss.
The location we were at when we started, it had like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon players there as well. We just didn't have Magic there, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird because like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon are like such different communities.
Yes.
When it really comes to who plays them. So this kind of I guess these are like our experiences here, right? So the Weiss people, there were not that many because it's not that popular of a game.
It's not that popular.
We're like, I don't know, maybe 50 in the Netherlands. I don't know, something. Maybe
all last 50.
I mean, like that actually played a lot, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of all knew each other, right? And we were all sort of in our 20s, that kind of age category, because it's the Weeb card game, you know.
It's the Weeb.
And then you have like the Pokemon kids, and I call them kids because most of them are very young. And it's pretty funny because like sometimes they come play Weiss with us, some of them, because they just want to try out new shit, and they often have their parents with them. very. It's kind of awkward, dude.
Bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit weird when I. So like I don't play. I play Attack on Titan, right? So
Yeah.
I play those cards,
Yeah.
but some of them play like, I don't know, Goblin Slayer, and they have or I can't come up with shit right now.
Yeah.
But anyways, they have like these cards with like these anime girls on them, and I feel like it's so awkward to play that in front of like a 9-year-old.
Yeah, it's a little bit little bit monk-esque.
Yeah, it's very manga-esque.
I
Because yeah, because out of all of those, I'm pretty sure Attack on Titan is probably the most safe for work cards out there.
yeah, it kind of is.
It's-
I remember looking at some of I know like Yannick on like he looked like he had some of the fake cards. Not like I don't know if he had them in real life or anything, but he had them on tabletop. Like on the thing, right? The what's it called? The tabletop game on Steam.
Simulator.
That's I just completely forgot the word for some reason. But like I know he had like a couple of the fake cards on there, and I looked at some of them and I was like, I don't remember this happening in the show. That's really concerning. So, which was interesting. And also like one of the things I just remembered, I was almost a Magic person. Like I almost got into Magic. Because like one of my friends took me to when I was like 13, 14, like he had like a full deck of cards and he went to like regionals for like Yu-Gi-Oh. And he was playing Yu-Gi-Oh for a bit and he was getting absolutely shit stomped, as you do. And I went and was just like talking to some of the Magic people for a bit, and there was a point where I was like, oh, maybe I can get into this. And then all of the people who I talked to and started like messaging, I messaged them for a bit, and then they all fucking ghosted me. It'd be like,
So that's what I wanted to say. Like the difference is, like for us here, the Yu-Gi-Oh community is extremely toxic.
Yeah, they're all dickheads.
Yeah, they're kind of. I mean, I'm not saying you can't be friends with any of them. Like I'm sure they're nice people, you know, just like anywhere. But the majority is just not that accepting towards new players, and they've also like here they've been known to steal your shit if you don't watch it. They generally do. They like if you leave your card somewhere, they will steal them. Which is yeah, and that's so weird to us, because like with other games, there's just so much of like a, I don't know, I guess you would call it like a how would you say that? Like a family sort of feeling.
Yeah, community.
Community. Yeah, where like you just give like if something is like even with cards. If they're like cheap cards, you just give them to people. You know, there's not much debate about it. But
like there was a thing where at one point, like I just one of my friends, like so that same friend who I went to the thing with, he traded like some cards with some guys, and it was like fine and chill. And then he found out later that somebody had just like tried to take all of his cards at one point. Why, dude? That's just what a dickhead. Like. It's extremely shitty, especially because that guy was like during the match. He's like, "Oh yeah," like after my friend lost, he was like, "Oh yeah, I remember this distinctly," because he's like, "Oh yeah, you played well. I hope to see you next time," kind of thing. And he tried to steal his cards. If you steal his cards, he can't come and play next time. You dickhead. What?
Yeah, Yannick typed in chat my AOT tryhard deck. Yes, I was. It was kind of a tryhard deck, but you know. Whatever. At least I'm top 10 AOT player in the world, maybe. When I was playing like that last year. But tournaments are dead, so I can't really test it anymore. So it's just like a whole different setting, kind of like because with Wise we're like very accepting to new players because we want more players, you know?
Yes.
And you don't have to like. You can ask like anyone questions about whatever you're thinking, right? They'll always like help you or in some way. I mean, sure, there's like some annoying people, but it's overall a very accepting community compared to like the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff.
Yeah, also like this kind of brought me onto a point that I thought about where like just in general, a lot of communities in gaming in general have this thing where when they start out for a little bit, they're really nice, and then they get to a certain point where people start being a bit like try hard about stuff, and like being a try hard or like trying like a lot in a game in itself is not a bad thing. I think it's actually probably a good thing for most games because people trying to excel and become good at the game is a good thing. But like people get this mindset where they have like some sort of like they get a level of ego in themselves or whatever, or they decide other people are just not doing things right, and then they just start being toxic, and it really infuriates me because it's especially infuriating when the person actually doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, because it's just like, you're stupid and you're trying to be toxic. That's hilarious. But like, just as a thing, let me just bring it back to Dota as a game in general.
Yeah.
It's not got the biggest community in it. Like, there's not a huge amount of people who play this game. And all the people who play this game are addicted as fuck to the game, and they only play it at this point. Let's be honest. That's just how most MOBAs go. If you want to be good at it, like a MOBA, you tend to sink a crap ton of time into it, and you feel like you're either really good at it, or you feel like you're really crap, and then you blame your team or whatever. I don't know what you do. It's up to you kind of thing. But a lot of people who play the game a lot tend to be the most toxic. And it's such like a... It doesn't make any sense when you think about it. Because if you want the game to survive and you've put a lot of time and effort into the game, would you not want it to have a bigger community? Rather than molding at the people who are new, why would you not just be like, hey, this is how you're meant to do it. You don't want to take my advice, you don't have to. Like, have some help.
Yeah,
so help people out.
I mean, the community is still like fairly large. Just like,
yeah,
I think it reaches peak like 2016, and then again in 2019. I'm just looking at the Steam chart, right?
Yeah,
and then so it's like not dead or anything, but it's just there's a lot of like elitism for people at the top, which is kind of what sucks about if your game is that large. Like I said before, like if you want to ask the best players in like Vice, for example, they will just answer you. They don't really care.
Yeah.
They just want more players to play in the game.
There's no gatekeeping.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, it's especially infuriating when the people who are gatekeeping aren't even good. Because it's not even like you have a reason to want to gatekeep because you're really good at the game and you don't want people to know your secrets so they don't get that good at the game as well. But it's just like, you're just a twat.
Yeah.
Just stupid. Just have no reason other than you're a dickhead doing this stuff. It's funny.
Fuck, it's 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
What else do you want to talk about, Rach?
What I want to talk about? Bro, like this. Oh, actually, I've remembered something. So yes, I run D&D. As many of the people have heard in this chat, I don't shut the fuck up about D&D. Classic. And I've finally managed to do it, ladies and gentlemen. I've roped Vincent to playing D&D with me. And the only way I managed to rope him into doing it was basically saying, hey, it's just going to be you and this and Yannick, one of my other friends. That's going to be it. And we'll make it as catered to you as you want. And you can do what you want. And you can tell me if it doesn't feel great. And we'll just change it up. It's fine. So excited.
Yeah, I mean, D&D is... So sometimes I just... feel like you really just need to know the people you're playing with well, you know.
Yeah,
it's just not gonna be that fun.
I feel like with most like role-playing games in general, like tabletop role-playing games, if you know the people you are with, it's a lot easier to have those moments that are a little bit more like they feel better, if that makes sense. Because it's a little bit more difficult for people other than me, because I'm a fucking idiot most of the time and I just do dumb shit no matter what. I can see it being a lot more difficult for people to like be like, hey, I want to have a role play moment or do something, you know, or get into character around people who are like not people that you know very well, you know.
Yeah. Fuck, I kind of wanted to say something about like, you know, the whole... So like, since Trump is banned, right?
Yes.
What do you think his reaction to it was? Like, do you think he just opened Twitter on his phone?
Yeah, definitely did.
Like,
Definitely open Twitter on his phone.
can you do a Trump impression?
Well then, Mr. President, are you okay? They've banned me from Twitter. Just I don't know why that was my thought for it. That was horrible. I just like lost my voice for him like midway through, so it just sounded like a really fucking weird. I mean, he's, you know, it was a weirdo.
You gotta use the hands. you gotta do the Italian hands, whatever or whatever he does.
They killed my Twitter. They killed the Twitter. You know, fucker right in the
What?
what?
Well, the thing is,
Delete VOD.
so yes, delete the file. But yeah, it's kind of weird because he's like in his 70s or something, right?
Old as fuck.
He's old as fuck, and he's tweeting like a 16-year-old high school girl. I think that's insane.
This is true. It's actually.
Dude, stop the count has to be the most iconic Twitter moment of 2020.
It just. Oh my god, this man is just.
I think the funniest part was that he was losing, even if they did stop the count.
Yeah, he was. Genuinely was.
What do you mean?
He just woke up from. You got to make it sound like you just woke up heavily from drinking heavily from the night before and talk about how great you are, the best.
Yeah.
I'm simply the best. No,
I feel so bad for whoever his like social media manager is.
Oh yeah.
Because they must be just begging him every day. Please give us your phone. Stop
it.
Delete.
The funniest thing is, I feel like even if he gets impeached, it's gonna be more of an impact on his entire everything and people supporting him that his Twitter got banned than him like losing office or being impeached.
Yeah,
like,
it's gonna be a weird fucking transition. That's for sure.
On from being literally the ruler of the known world to not being a person. Fucking amazing to me.
I feel like Trump's behavior is what happens whenever like a carry player dies once in a game.
Oh yeah.
He's just gonna hold the game hostage until you do what he wants you to do. Which is apparently gank his lane 17 times.
Yes.
And give him enough space for 15,000 minutes.
Sir, we do not negotiate with terrorists. Fuck those people. It's just... it's so like he is so surreal to me. Like it is absolutely insane how there are so many people who are just like, yeah, you know, completely reasonable guy, completely fine. I think him being the president is a good idea. You know what? He's probably better for the economy. You know, let's just ignore all the times where he's, you know, been extremely racist to all of the Mexicans or even Puerto Ricans and stuff like that. You know, he's saying to build a wall and saying some very rude stuff that I couldn't.
He called African Americans the blacks.
Oh my god, yeah. You know that. You know, let's just ignore all of the stuff where he's like probably some like a Russian, like he's been paid by Russians or he's doing some jank shit with Russians. You know, that's fine. Let's also ignore the fact that he was genuinely trying to put through laws to get himself more money, as you do, because, you know, classic. And also just ignore all of the stuff where he's just ruined foreign relations with plenty of countries. You know, but definitely he's going to be good for the economy, guys.
I feel like he has like a very love-hate relationship with North Korea. Like sometimes he's just shaking their hands, hugging them, and then other times he's like, "We will nuke you," and then like they also don't know what to do. They're like, "What the fuck? What is that? Why?" And then I mean, not saying North Korea is a good country, of course.
Like I just imagine you're like a North Korean foreign relations dude, and you're like looking at Trump tweets, and you're like, Mr. Kim, I don't know what to tell you. We had a really good meeting with him, and now he's threatening to nuke us. I don't understand. Is he being for real? Like, did you look at his Twitter? I don't know where I got the internet to look at Twitter in North Korea, but did you look at it?
Maybe this is what I call a meme.
What is a meme? Hey! If I figure out what he's trying to say on his Twitter, will you give me enough flour to make myself bread? I'm starving.
Jesus.
That went a bit dark. That went a little bit off the rails. But like, it is.
Sorry for all the North Korean peasants out there that are watching this, of course.
We would like to try and help, but really, I don't think there's any way. Like, one guy from England and one guy from the Netherlands is really going to be able to help you at all. Like, I mean, I can send you like a couple quid, maybe, a best, but like, I don't think it's going to get to you. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of North Korea, one of my friends at one point was like, really, I really want to go to North Korea and like see what it's like, right? Because you can go, like, you can fly to North Korea, right? And you got to put through like a bunch of
tourists or something, right?
Was that?
They allow like a couple of tourists per year.
Yeah, they do like allow tourists. And it's like, it's one of those things where I was thinking about it and like talking to him as well, and he's like, I really want to go and I want to see what it's like and stuff like that. And I was like, my issue is that firstly, we're brown, right? A little bit awkward. I don't know how well they're gonna like us traipsing around the country, but it's one of those things where people genuinely go missing in North Korea, and they're just presumed dead, and that's just a thing that happens, right? And it's just to be like, you're on a tour and you decide to just take a quick look in another room and somebody catches you, and then boom, that's it. You're stuck in a prison for the rest of your life in North Korea. I don't know if that's worth the risk, man.
There's other ways to do exciting things, I guess.
Bro, just go to South Korea and just vibe with the K-pop stars, dude. Like, bro, also funding more missiles. I mean, I feel like, yeah, kinda are. And if you go to America, technically, you're also probably funding more missiles as well. So, listen up, dude.
I mean, yeah, it'd be like that, but if we have to be responsible for what our country pays for with our money, then we'd all be fucking criminals, I guess. So that's a bit, yeah.
This is true. One thing that I remembered actually semi-recently, there was like a somebody talking about how much debt America has, and they literally were talking about it, and they were like, oh yeah, no, we physically don't have enough money in the world to pay off the debt America has to other countries. And that debt effectively doesn't exist. Because let's be honest, because America has such a big military and focuses on having such a big military, which is probably a clever move. If any country was to sit there and go, I want you to pay back America, pulls out a nuke and just holds it there and goes, hey, you really want your money back, guys? You're sure about that? Yeah, you sure? I mean, just as a thought, like, I doubt it would end up like that, but it's really funny, just the thought that, like, funding the military as a country allows you to just take out a crap ton of money and go into a bunch of debt. Oh yeah, okay. I guess vaguely we should talk about that. Capital.
Yeah. Well,
bit weird.
Yeah, it is a bit of a weird situation, dude. You know what's like kind of funny, what I was thinking about, like, because you're not allowed to ever go to the Congress there, or like the Senate or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Here you can go to like the Congress for free. You just have to get checked at like the entrance for if you have anything. But they always, there's sometimes when they just come in with like banners and sit in the stands. It's just kind of funny.
pretty funny actually. But yeah, basically, the whole business at the Capitol, storming the gates as you do. And obviously, apparently, Trump didn't call the National Guard. Mike Pence did. That's quite funny, actually. But
their relationship has kind of fallen apart.
yeah,
They're not bromies anymore. They're not
bros, dude. Not bros to the end, broski. I think there was somebody sent me a tweet out something. It was one of the Trump supporters being like, "Hey, if Trump loses this election, I can't wait for all the anti-Trump people to be showing up." Not Trump loses. When Trump wins this election, I can't wait for all of the anti-Trump people to come out and try and storm the Capitol and stuff like that, because they're going to do it. Now, we as Trump supporters would never do that. There's no way we would do that. And it's just, it aged so poorly, dude.
Yeah.
It aged.
Yeah.
I think it actually was. I don't remember the name though. Tony Lauren.
Tommy. Yeah.
Tommy.
Yeah, but even when Trump was elected, people didn't do that.
True.
And now people are just going insane. But I think they are making more arrests now, because I'm pretty sure the people you see in those pictures of them. You saw this guy holding this fucking I don't know what you call this, the speaker platform.
Oh yeah.
And that guy with his feet on the desk. I think they've both been arrested.
Yeah.
But they definitely should have. I don't understand how they even got that far.
I don't know, dude. My main the thing that I find the funniest about this is that there are people who were firstly, it's a good idea to storm the capital of this country. Secondly, oh yeah, they were effectively let in. Yeah, I guess. Secondly, after storming the capital of this country, it is a good idea for me to just be vibing and chilling and whatever it is. And then thirdly, to take pictures of it, most of them without masks on or anything, so it's very obvious who they are, and put it on social media. I don't think people understand that if you're going to get arrested by something, or you're going to do something like this, and you don't want to keep your anonymity, you're going to just get arrested. It's not hard to think, hey, am I doing something against the law? If so, if yes, don't put it on social media.
I feel like it should be your general guidelines whenever post.
Is this against the law? No? Fine, it can go on social media, probably, maybe.
Speaking about that, it was pretty funny because I think Logan Paul got he's actually gotten sued now for that. The forest video. He also should have talked about that. I mean, he's been getting sued for a while, but it takes.
Yeah, he's been getting sued for quite a while. I mean, that was just stupid. Firstly, the whole video. I didn't even bother watching it. I just remember looking at the thumbnail and just being like,
I don't think I've ever seen it,
bruh. But so for context, I'm pretty sure that I don't remember the name of the forest, but the name of the forest is basically where lots of people in Japan go to, effectively commit suicide, stuff like that, and they leave their shoes and then they walk into the forest and then they just they either hang themselves or stuff like that. This is kind of dark, I guess, but it's a video. I mean, everybody probably knows by now, but just for context, there's a video of him traipsing around the forest and literally showing off effectively people's dead bodies, and just be like, whoa, and it's just, I don't know,
so sad if I killed myself. I was in a Logan Paul video.
No!
So it's the worst thing.
I feel like I'm gonna have no human empathy or no dude, it's just so bad taste. Even
making people go into a Logan Paul video when they're alive is bad enough.
Yes, this is true.
Yes. When they're dead, it's just why? Why are you gonna do that, bro? It's also just a very dumb thing, because he was I think he was 20 something already.
Yeah.
It's not like he didn't know.
Not not a child, not young.
He was. It's not like he was 16 when he did it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, don't post illegal shit
Don't post illegal shit on social media. I mean, like, I think like the final thing I really want to talk about is just like, I was gonna at one point during this, I was going to say, bro, have you no empathy? You know, like people in this world not have any empathy or any like care for their other common man or stuff like that. But realistically, I look like just thinking about some of the shit that I've heard about in COVID, people just not wearing masks because it's difficult for them and stuff like that. People actually just don't have any fucking empathy and they just don't care. Everybody's fucking selfish. And that's depressing as fuck.
Well, then you also have that's why we have animals. Because
animals.
They're not depressing, they're adorable.
Dogs will save the world.
Yes.
What would be? Red pandas. Red pandas give me life. It's all that gives me life anymore. Every day I wake up and I have to look at a picture of a red panda to stop myself from being in a Logan Paul video. No, not even like anything bad. No, I'll just be in the background of the Logan Paul video, just standing there, staring.
Next Logan Paul video, catching rage, and he's just going to your house.
Oh no, dude!
Or showing your address, because that's what he does.
Hardcore docs me. Classic.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Was there anything else you wanted to say about before we end this episode of Le Podcast?
I don't know. Stay safe out there, kids.
Stay safe out there, kids. Put it here first, folks. But yeah, I think that is actually where we are going to end this episode of the podcast. I love you all. I hope you have enjoyed. You want to say something, Vince?
I was saying don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, kids.
Yes, I've always said this.
Don't do drugs. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed. Catch you guys later. Bye bye.